It's Ian with ianbluemusic.com. Today I'm going to show you how to master a track in FL Studio in 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to master the track and just show you how quick the process really is, and then I'll explain what plugins I used and how you can replicate the results and why everything works the way it does. So here's a track I have. Start the timer. All right, this is a track. This is a track I did. It's like an EDM pop track. All right, and start the timer now. I'm going to go ahead and master it. Done. All right, I'm going to go ahead and export it because my track is mastered. I'll just save it to the desktop for now. Okay, I tried this once and it didn't work, so I'm having to do the video again. So I'm saving it to test on the desktop, and then I'll import it and show you the difference in the waveform. Okay, so now you guys saw what I did. I'm going to tell you everything about how to master and what these plugins are doing. So the plugins you need, I'll wait for that to finish actually. You need Fruity Parametric EQ2. You need Fruity Limiter. And you need Maximus. Now the thing about Maximus is that it's not included, at least last time I checked, it's not included in every version of FL Studio. So you're going to have to hopefully have this with your version. If not, I think it's $99. It's a great plugin, and it does most of the work in this mastering process. Okay, so I'll work in what I did, but first let me show you what kind of difference that made. Let me drag in test. Now look at that. It is maxed out. It's much louder. Okay, so now let's compare it. This is the original track. I'm sorry. This is the original track. And then huge difference. Okay, so this actually almost sounds as good as the master I paid for when I released the track. You can find it on Spotify here right now by Ian Blue. So what mastering is essentially you're trying to use up all your headspace. If you look at this file, look, we could be maxing out all the way to 0 dB, but we're just not using that room. But the thing is, you can't just normalize it because, see, there's these little peaks. Okay, well, that's going to keep it from going any louder. But look, we can get it to sound this loud, and it's going to sound a little bit more professional. The tones are going to be a little bit more matching of the rest of the tones that you'll find on Spotify. So that's what the mastering process is. A lot of people get mixing and mastering confused. This song has already been mixed. I spent a long time mixing it. The mastering process is much quicker and much simpler. So again, this is just a simple, quick mastering process. It doesn't sound great, but it's a great place to start. And if you just need something to sound decent for a demo, this is all you need. Okay, so the first thing is getting the tones. Now, you've got a good, well-mixed track. But the thing is, even if the track is mixed correctly, you might have pieces of the track that just don't sound right. Maybe there's too much highs, not just in one particular instrument, but across the board. The track is a little bit too harsh sounding. So that's what I did actually here. It was a little harsh sounding around the 5,000, so I pulled down just a little bit. I liked the highs up here. I also noticed it was a little muddy, so I wanted to clear that up by getting at some of those bass frequencies at about 200. Okay, so that was the first thing I did. The next thing I did was the limiter, and I'll reactivate this so you can see it. The limiter is going to get our track to the volume it needs to be at. So if you listen here, I pretty much just turned up the gain. You don't need to touch anything but the gain when you're using the limiter to master in this method. So this is it with just the EQ and the limiter. Now you can see it's just clipping off the top of some of these peaks here. Which maybe is a little bit too harsh. Maybe I pushed it a little bit too hard, but you can kind of squash down because you want a pop EDM song to be loud. So that's what I did there. I didn't push it too much because I didn't want to sacrifice the quality of the song and the quality of the mixing and the recording, but I did push it a little bit. Okay, now Maximus is where things really get interesting. I'm messing with this volume up here because I'm not going to use a compressor on this video like I usually do to make the volumes all match, so I want you to kind of hear the differences, but if it blows out your ears or you're having trouble hearing me at certain points, I apologize. Anyway, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I'm going to go activate the Maximus. All right, you can really hear it come alive there. Everything sounds good, but you kind of hear the last little bit of thickness. The bass gets a little louder. It gets a little bit more almost cohesive. It's this squeeze feeling. And what Maximus is a multi-band compressor. That's part of the FL Studio family made by ImageLine, and you can select, you can see each compressor, and so it's showing that from 20 hertz to 200 hertz, this is the bass that's going to be compressed. From 200 to 3000 hertz, these are the mids. There's going to be a separate compressor for that, and then 3000 to 20,000, it's a separate compressor for that. So it allows it really to squeeze the juice out of a track. And then there's a final compressor for everything. I just go to presets. There's a lot that you could do. You should get into it. But for this method, go to Clear Master RMS. It's going to be a preset that's going to just sound really good. And that's it. That's all you need to master a track. Again, you can kind of see the difference there from really quiet, not having a whole lot going on, to really maxed out throughout it. The only reason that this part isn't maxed out is because there's not a lot of bass in this part of the song. It's a quieter part, so it's kind of what you want to see. But the part where the 808 comes in and the big quote-unquote drop comes in, you can see that from here. There's the build and there's the drop. There's the build and there's the drop. So it's a great, quick method. And if you start mastering like this, you can build other pieces and other elements onto it. So 30 seconds. I know this video is a lot longer than that, but I wanted to give you all the information on how to do your own 30-second master. This is Ian with ianbluemusic.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or thoughts, leave them in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Happy recording.